Welcome to day one. Now, today's lesson, we are going to identify the core conflict that's going on in your life right now. Now, again, I just want to share with you, as you start this masterclass, as you start committing to yourself, to show up every single day, understand that your mind, just like any other muscle, needs to be worked consistently in order to change. So if you want a strong and a powerful mind, if you want to be able to experience more joy, more gratitude, more happiness, more love on a regular basis, we need to start wiring our mindset to do that. And essentially, what you're going to learn over the next 5 days is a system to help you do exactly that. But you need to show up, you need to be consistent, and you need to be willing to do the work. So I ask you, before you get into this work, make the commitment to yourself as to why you are here and why you're willing to do whatever it takes to make sure that you are doing the work, showing up consistently, showing up every single day for yourself to get that lasting change. Now, I ask you to share in this group your why. Why are you here and why are you committed to yourself? Because it's one thing to identify that to ourselves, but then when we actually share that with others, it helps us keep accountable, helps us actually commit to ourselves at a greater level. Now, with that being said, let's get into the core conflict. So, your core conflict is looking at each area of your life to see how satisfied you are in these areas of your life, so that we can then look at what the gap is in order for you to be living the life that you dream of. So when you go into this exercise, I want you to simply take the time to be very honest with yourself, and on a scale of 1 to 10, rate each area of your life, from your health, your wealth, your career, your finances, your relationships, your spiritual path right now, anything else that you identify with that is important to you, any aspect of the life that you want to work on, I want you to include in this exercise. Now, I've given you a wheel of life there, which shows you the areas that you can work on. It comes down to even your fulfillment with your family, your friends, your fun, your hobbies, and things like that. So as we get clear on what level we're at in these areas of our life, coming from a place of no judgment, actually just assessing where we're at, we can then look at what the gap is, and we can start to identify what needs to take place in order to shift forward towards your desired outcome. With this exercise, again, firstly, I want you to go through and identify what the number is. Now, we're going to identify what your core conflict is. What is the one area of your life that if you could change this area, well, essentially, every other area of your life would start to change as well. That's what your core conflict is. So when you're doing this exercise, I want you to firstly number out of 1 to 10 what your area of satisfaction or fulfillment in these areas of your life is currently. And then what I want you to do is any of those areas that is a real pain point for you, that you really want to see shifted, I want you to then take time to write what's currently going on in that area of your life that's got you feeling the way that you do about it right now. Now, this is our first step. This is essentially looking at our shit. In order for anything to change in life, first we need to bring awareness to it. So we want to bring awareness to what's taking place in your life right now. When we've got awareness, the next step is to create acceptance. So instead of judging ourselves and being hard on ourselves about where we're at, if we can come to accept that wherever we're at in life right now, it's okay, and yes, we want to change things, but we're not going to continue to beat ourselves up about it. This is how you can start to shift into the energy that's going to create lasting change. You cannot solve your problem by being stuck in your problem. So all we're doing right now is bringing awareness to what that problem is. So again, in this exercise, look at each area of life that is important to you, and once you've identified what number it is, write out a statement of where you're at in your life that's giving you the reason to write down that number. Now, the next step, identify one area of life that, again, if this area, whether it be your career, maybe it's your relationship, if this area were to change, then everything else in your life would be just a lot more easier, a lot more flow for you. And I want you to write down what you desire to experience instead. Okay, so what would a 10 out of 10 be in this area of your life? Now, by all means, if you've got the time to do this today, you can do this with every single area that's on that wheel of life for you. You can go into it and actually identify what are your 10s on every single area. But again, the minimum effective dose at this stage is identifying that one core conflict that, again, if this area of your life was to change, everything else would change as a result to it. Okay, so nice and simple, that's day one for you. Let's look at our stuff. Let's bring that awareness to what's not working for us right now so that we can see it. And then we want to look at where we would rather be. What would it have to happen, or what would you have to be experiencing in your life to experience a 10 out of 10 in satisfaction and fulfillment in this area of your life? That's all for today, and I'll see you on tomorrow's lesson.